Hi, everyone. It's Tuesday, June 20th. This is the meeting of the Public Safety Committee. My name is Veronica Castro. I'm the chair.
Phyllis Nastasio, co-chair.
Ellie Rodriguez, member.
Dwayne Williams, member.
Okay, and here as our guest today, we have Malcolm joining us in person. And, and then we have everyone that's online. So the 49 precinct may not be able to make it today. I haven't heard back from them, so I also invited them. I was just telling the others here that I also invited them to our full board meeting. So hopefully if they can't make it today, they'll be able to make it to our full board. This is the last meeting for the year, for the fiscal year. We start again in September. I cannot speak today. We start again in September. I'd like everyone committee-wise and board-wise and the public-wise to think of things that you want us to bring for next year. September, I'll be taking ideas. We did have someone from, I don't remember the name of the agency, but they were supposed to come to talk about human trafficking. That was something that was suggested to us by one of our board members. Unfortunately, that fell through, so they weren't able to attend. They might come later in the year, so I'll keep you apprised of that. But that's all I have for now. Anybody on the committee have anything?
No, I just want to talk about an incident that happened last night. I had gotten a call that there was a dog being beaten on Balk. And I jumped in my car. I went with someone. We checked it out. We did speak to neighbors. This is an ongoing issue. So please, if you ever see any dogs that are being abused, let us know, because it is a 911 issue and we can have the dogs removed from the home.
Mm-hmm.
Did they know where the dog lived?
We had the exact address, yeah.
Okay, did you report
At the
it?
time, there was no activity. I actually spoke to Jay last night. He was driving home. And he said, always call 911 in a situation like that.
Okay,
So now the neighbors have my cell number. So if they see anything, they'll be calling me and I'll be calling it right into the precinct.
thank you. Okay. Ellie, you have anything?
No.
Dwayne?
Nothing. Thanks.
Malcolm, do you have anything to bring to the committee?
I did hear that yesterday there was an incident on Morris Park in Hamlet's where somebody threw something in a garbage bin and it blew up.
I didn't hear that.
Maybe, I do have something.
Fireworks.
Was the fire department called?
Yeah, they were called, the police was called, but yeah, so somebody texted me about it and I was like, okay, that's what's tomorrow. But it seems like it might be heightened within this area. There's things just going on. I know I did hear recently over in White Plains Road that somebody threw like something like else in the garbage bin. Maybe like coal, something like that, like.
It started the fire?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm just taking notes down. Okay. I'm sure the 49 is aware of this, but that is good to know that people are starting to do that, but I'll make sure to pass it along just in case. Okay, thank you for that. Is there anything else?
No.
No? Ellie?
He did remind me of something. A couple of nights ago, I came home and there were 4 scooters parked in front of my house. And one of the 4 was even in my driveway. And what can we do about people using these scooters and just dropping them off in people's homes? I had to move one just to be able to park so I can get out of my car. Maybe there needs to be a rule that no more than 1 of these scooters can be in front of a person's home as opposed to 4. There's got to be something we could do.
I think we brought this up the last time about this.
Yeah, we
They
did.
said that they just, and please correct me if I'm wrong, am I remembering? They don't regulate exactly where they park them. They just have to park them at within a certain area of where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, but this is my home, and when you hear all these incidents about some of these things exploding, so it concerns me. I have four chances of something like that happening in front of my home.
I see that all the time, that on where I live on my block, they just throw them up against people's fences. They throw them down in front of their driveways. They have no consideration.
I'm not so much bothered by having 1 parked in front of my home, but when there's 4 of them, I think that's too much. There needs to be a rule that says if you're gonna park it, make sure it's not parked in front when there is already one there. You know, spread it out, spread the love.
Do you recall which scooter companies were? Because my next thing that I'm trying to do for.
No, but there's
October-
still one parked in front of my house now, so I'll text you the information from that. I'll send you a picture.
I'm
I should
gonna
take a
invite-
picture of the four.
I'm gonna try and invite the scooter companies
Yes.
to one of our public safety meetings, because I think they need to know what safety issues we're having with
Yeah.
these scooters.
You know, I don't mind as much, because you know, my office is over here, 1867 Winsbridge Road, right
Right.
across the street from TD Bank, catty corner CBS. They drop them off there. And sometimes they'll drop 6 or 7 at the curb.
Right.
You know, I don't live there. That's my office. But we're talking about my home.
There's a
And where there's one parked in my driveway, where I have to physically move that out of my driveway to park in my own driveway. And
And I know
again, it
when-
increases the chance of something happening 4 times in front of my home.
Right.
There's gotta be some rule that says you can't park more than one vehicle in front of someone's home.
You're not supposed to be able to park any of them in front of someone's home, and they're supposed to pick them up every single night,
They don't do
but they
that.
don't. So we need to hold the companies accountable.
Yes. I've had
Especially
the
now.
same,
Yeah.
the same scooter sitting in front of somebody's house
Mm-hmm.
for 5 days,
Yeah.
and it's been red for 2 days. So,
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no enforcement in terms
Right.
of penalizing the users the
Right.
way they place them.
Do we know how long the city's contract is with them? And are they taking them complaints?
well, I don't know if they're getting complaints directly. That's the one thing that people should be complaining directly to them. Because, I mean, to us too, but directly to them also, so they could actually hear what's going on, which is why I want to get them over here. Because I'm not sure if they're actually listening. They,
Maybe we
they
could
may
send
very well
them a
may be
letter.
aware of it, but
Maybe we can send them a letter from the community
I
board.
know recently in the Bronx, it's always been about 3 fires with light out recently.
Yeah, weren't 4 people just?
And what
killed
happened
in the
yesterday?
Yeah.
Yesterday, the day before? What happened there?
Yeah.
4 people
fire? 4
died.
people died. Yeah.
Because of this very,
Yeah.
it's very bad.
yeah, Cynthia just said in the chat that the onus is on the homeowner to download the multiple apps and report them for pickup. That should, thank you for that information, Cynthia, but I don't think that's fair to the homeowner who's not using the
Right.
vehicle to be responsible for
Yeah,
that.
I don't need another app on my phone for that.
Yeah, and it's.
I don't use them.
There's a
Yeah.
Apple thing where, maybe we just ask them, you know, like, what if a scooter is not returned to a certain spot by a certain time?
They should be
It needs
penalized.
to be penalized.
Right.
And ages, like 18 and up, 16 and up maybe, and if
Mhm.
they are not in code, that they can't use it.
Yeah, because isn't that similar to what the city bikes are? They have
Yeah.
to be parked in
Yeah,
another carousel, whatever you call
Right.
that, by a certain time, or else they get penalized, and that should be the same for these. I don't think they should be able to just be parked anywhere. They should have to be parked in a corral, just like the bikes. Those seem to work okay.
yeah.
I have no problem with the scooters, except for the safety issues we've been having.
Yeah.
People not adhering to the rules, kids on them, they're not supposed to be on them.
All the way on the sidewalk.
Yes,
Sure.
it's ridiculous. It's scary sometimes, because I almost hit 2 kids already
Yeah.
on a bike, not on a bike, on a scooter.
I almost got run down yesterday walking to the event. Some kid on an e-scooter went zooming right by me from behind.
Yeah. Said somebody not. Was that, oh,
No, I think it's next week.
Okay.
wow.
Okay, I just want to double check that there's nobody at the door. Go ahead, Phyllis, if
I
you
can
don't.
check, you can stay. I can check.
No, I'm right here. Phyllis, you can start with the people.
Hi, Cynthia, do you have anything to add?
No, no.
Do
I'm
you have
home
any
nur-
questions?
No, I'm home nursing a migraine. I'm just listening in.
Oh, sorry. Hope you feel better.
Hi,
Thanks.
Cynthia.
Hi.
Harry? Do you have any questions or anything to add?
No, I'm good, thank you.
I just called the 2 board members.
Okay, we're gonna start from the way we see you on the screen. So, Efren, do you have anything you'd like to add?
The only thing I will say about those scooters, if they're parked, about a month ago, I had somebody on the sidewalk and I almost got run over. Actually, he hit me and he actually got hurt because he was trying to avoid me. And I asked him, where were you going with the scooter? You know, because I was on the sidewalk and I was by the homes. And he says, oh, I always park it like right in front of the house. So it is a problem, but I don't think that it's something that um, is going to be enforced by the police unless there's incident. I didn't need to go to the to get medical treatment. He just grazed me, but he fell down and he didn't want to get medical treatment. But I could see people getting hurt just by the scooters going up on the sidewalk. Um, they have to work on something where in a particular block they could just park at the corner. I've seen that, but yeah, when I see them that they're red and they've been there for a few days, don't they have GPS tracking for them? I mean, I guess
Yes,
if
they
they can,
do.
They
so
say
then
that
they should be picked up.
they say that with the GPS, they can't pinpoint exactly where they are. They can pinpoint the vicinity of where they are.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I just don't want to see anybody getting hurt because now with the weather getting warmer, I'm always concerned about the elderly. And I'm also concerned about mothers with baby carriages. You know, like I would never want to see them get hit with a scooter. That actually is scary, just talking about it. So it's just something about, you know, just being uh, if I wanted to say something else, but this isn't the topic, but maybe I'll be able to mention it when I guess after the.
It's your time to talk, so, and just I'm
Okay.
being lenient, just so you guys know, everybody, I'm being lenient with the 2-minute mark. I just ask that you don't abuse it, you know, you can speak, but don't go on speaking too long. But Ephraim, this is your time to speak, so bring up whatever you want.
I was concerned about the shootings outside of Eastchester Gardens, and I saw somebody at the hospital who said that there there is a problem when you know, teenagers, some of them are teens and they're involved with gangs. And it's around an area where there's so many vulnerable people. And I got to see that firsthand. The last time I was there before this past March was in 1979. Could you believe it? When I was campaigning for, helping somebody campaign for borough president. That was a long time ago. And it is totally different and bad. And maybe a person that hasn't been around that long would not understand the standards because this young person was just wondering, you know, has it ever been like this? And I said, no. I mean, it was really nice, but it is kind of scary when people are having guns and they're shooting teenagers right in front, right outside. And we don't even know if they live there or whatever, but they're congregating there. And that's what's scary. And I'm concerned because I met a lot of seniors and a lot of them were telling me when I was gathering petitions, I won't mention who I was gathering them for, that they can't even go out, like, you know, in the winter months, because once it gets dark around 4 or 5 o'clock, it's very scary. So it's just something that I guess, you know, when we come back in September, that we could see maybe if we can get the PSA 8 to come in and talk about, and they really do need somebody to patrol there, at least I guess until maybe 11 or 12 that they can do drive-bys because it's not something that sat well with me. But other than that, I hope everybody has a wonderful time, and I'll just be listening in.
Thank you, Ephraim. I'll mention that to the 4-9, but Phyllis mentioned that that part may actually be a CB12.
Yeah.
But we can, I'll still bring it up to the 4-9. I'm not sure if it's in their area or not, but I'll bring it up to them.
We also, we do have 2 or 3 members, I believe, are part of the Eastchester Guardian Council.
Keith Ramsey.
Yeah.
Ramsey and Wanda.
Yeah.
So it might be a good idea to probably meet with them also to see if there are any like deeper issues
Okay.
occurring in the area, see if we could.
I know when we were there for the precinct council meetings, we were there quite a few times this past year. It's very dark in the walkways once the sun goes down. And I did speak to Councilman Riley about adding lights and cameras to the walkways. I don't know if that ever came to be or if it has to wait for the next budget period, but that's something that is definitely needed there. They need lights and they need cameras. Even though this incident happened to be, it was not gang related. It was 2 kids that had a beef beforehand and one just came back to finish the job this time. But they both did live in the complex. So this one at least was not a gang related incident.
And we should share information with Community Board 12,
Yes.
issues that are raised by our members.
Yes. I'll find out who the public safety chair is on their end and see if we, have a discussion with them.
In addition, I could recall possibly seeing a project profile put in place to address the lighting issues in that area.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. We ready ask Cynthia or Harry. Cynthia and Harry, unless you have something else besides Scooter, you can speak now, or we can move on to someone else.
No, thank you.
No, no, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Larry Moriello? Can't hear you if you're talking, Larry. Okay, we'll come back to you. Roxanne Delgado?
I don't have anything, V.
I don't know who
So
that was.
is it my turn to speak?
Yes, it is. Thank you, Larry. Go ahead, Roxanne.
Okay, is this to discuss the e-scooters?
Anything you need to discuss?
Oh, so this is the gallery session then.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, is the 49 precinct present? I can't see from the video. I'm calling from my phone.
No.
No, unfortunately, they weren't able to make it today. But
Okay,
if
so I won't go into
anything you
deep.
need to raise to them.
Understood. So I won't go into details of incidents that just recently happened. So regarding e-scooters, I think I heard a male speak about many of them being placed in front of his home. Well, that's because there's a particular individual that must be using that e-scooter to go to a destination near his home. It happens to my building. Every night, someone leaves one of their e-scooters because I guess from the train station, instead of walking like a normal person, they use the e-scooter to go home. And then it builds up. We went from 1 scooter to 2, 3, 4. And then I pick them up and I kick them to the curb. And then the company picks it up because they detect alarm that the scooters are down. Unfortunately, they are allowed to park them anywhere within the furniture zone. So it's permitted, unfortunately, in front of anyone's home or building. And that's not right, but it is what it is. These e-scooters have been the worst thing that happened because they say they're environmentally friendly. They actually replace people from walking. I'm not sure for a county that's the fattest and unhealthiest, I'm not sure we should be discouraging people from walking, and that includes myself.
I agree.
Second thing, please. Sadly, I found out today, which is very upsetting, that my council member with the other council people voted to permit people to sleep in parks and public spaces. And this is unbelievable because we had a small encampment this morning where I had to address with the parks enforcement. And now I'm thinking this is not going to be allowed. People are going to be allowed to sleep in the park with their clothing, with their tents, with their defecating on the streets. It's unbelievable that this is happening to our community. It's I don't know how we reached this point. This is all the socialist, progressive, woke people that constantly care more about people who are not contributing to our community at the cost of other people who work very hard like myself to keep Palm Parkway clean and safe and green. And every little thing that I devoted is going down the drain because of Councilmember Marjorie Velasquez, who now says it's okay for people to sleep in the park. So we're going to need to have police there because God forbid someone's walking and someone rapes them or does something, because some of them are not meant to be. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you're homeless, you're more prone to mental disease, to drugs. It's not their fault, but it is what it is. And now we're not going to be able to walk safely in our park. So maybe NYPD can look into this. And thank you to my council member, Marjorie Velasquez, for doing this to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Roxanne. I will bring this up to the NYPD. I know that not last year, but a couple of years ago, we had something similar. On Pelham Parkway, where there were people camping out and laying on the greenway there. And when the police approached them and asked them where they were from, they said they were from, I think one of them was from Jersey.
Right. Mhm.
And the reason they said they come is because the people in the area are very generous. So,
Yeah, I mean, that happened 4 years ago in 2018, and I was the one that would spend months cleaning up all their drugs, all their tissues, all their dirty clothing. Parks wouldn't do anything. 49 precinct said they were unable to do anything, and CBS came involved. And the following day, Parks and NYPD came, they put the new bulletin board with park hours that after 2 a.m. Unless you're walking through the parkway, you cannot use the parkway, only to use it as a crossover, not to be hanging out, seated there. So everything was fine since then, but now we're going back to 2018 because now it's actually allowed. And those men, we had like a dozen of men, half of them half naked, with their pants down, with their shirts down in the morning, drug, food, condoms, soiled underwear, you name it. It was unbelievable.
Wait,
You know,
Yeah, it was a,
this is what happens when we don't vote properly, but thank you so much.
that's what I was gonna say. It was a very bad situation back then, and I'd hate to see it start up all over again. I'll bring this to the 4-9 precinct, make sure they're aware and see what they have planned for it, if it should come through. Okay, Robert Press?
Thank you. The president of the 49th Precinct Council, the new president, gave me a call and asked me if I knew how many 311 calls there were, because they're looking for getting more police into the precinct. So I said that this information should be at the board office, because if I remember, in previous years, the 311 calls came into the board office along with other information which pertained to sewers and other problems. What the precinct should be doing is having a list of the 311 calls that they respond to, the 911 calls, any response time, which used to be in a few minutes, then it went to 5 minutes. Now it's up to 90 minutes at times, because this needs to be said so that the precinct can have its adequate share of police officers, as we just heard about problems that are coming up. If you can work with the 49th precinct and the district manager to try and find this out and work with the precinct council to get this all together, and then maybe we can bring it to, say, the borough command or even the mayor's office and say that we're not getting our fair share of police officers, or maybe we're getting too many police officers, unfortunately, you know. So we need to know if we're getting our fair share of items. And this goes for also with this proposal for Just Home, you know, I know it's not public safety, but it may become public safety if it goes there. And, you know, we're going to need more police officers. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Robert. Diana?
Yes, hi. Just wanted to remind everyone that the Build the Block meeting is tomorrow at PS 96 for Sector B, Sector Boy. Actually, I'm going around putting up flyers about it right now. And we'll have a Spanish speaking officer there, which is great. Also, as you all know, I'm an avid e-scooter user. And at least the company that I ride, which is the Bird, the blue ones, they've adjusted their scooters so that if you go on the sidewalk, the scooter starts beeping at you, and it goes slower. It won't go above a certain speed. You also, when you park it, you have to take a picture of how you've parked it. And there's certain areas where it won't let you park. You can't end your ride. It just keeps on charging you till you move to an area where you can park. So rather than being confrontational with all of these companies, why don't we work with them, especially since the program's been expanded now into Queens, and maybe work with them on more areas where the scooters cannot be parked. And I do want to say that one of their policies about parking, they tell you to park at the curb, on the sidewalk, but at the curb. But that's often not very convenient to do because it means that you're parking right in front of somebody's car door. So how are they going to get around the scooter to get into your car door? And it seems like it would be much better for everyone if you could park up at the side of the building. But they say that you're not supposed to for reasons I don't really understand. So I'm all in favor of more dialogue with the e-scooter companies so that we can all learn to live together. They could also enhance their little training program to make sure that scooter users are aware of like keeping pedestrians alert for their presence. Maybe they could even make the scooters noisier so that they don't come up behind you silently. Because they all have bells and you're supposed to like ring the bell to alert the drivers or the pedestrians that you're there. But they don't really emphasize that in the training. So those are my suggestions. And I'm a socialist, I'm a progressive. I don't appreciate the insinuation that I don't care about my community and that I don't care about safety because I'm a socialist and because I'm a progressive. So I'm all in favor of more dialogue and a better relationship so that we can all learn to live together better.
Thank you, Diana. That's good information. I didn't know Bert had made those changes. And just for clarification, we have no intention of badgering them when they
Right.
come. We simply want to have a sit down with them so we could express our concerns and maybe
And
work
ask
to make some
questions.
kind of changes that'll
Yeah.
benefit everybody.
Yeah, nobody intended for any kind of confrontational meeting. Just
Well,
come
I
and
think
answer our
some of the
questions.
comments made it sound that way.
Well, we'll be the ones, if they do come, we still have to send out the invitation and see if they accept it. We'll make sure that we ask everyone and we keep it calm here, because we do want them to be able to sit down and discuss things with us. We don't want them to just get badgered and walk out without even listening to us. That's not
Yeah.
what the goal is.
Right, thank
So,
you.
We'll try to keep it, in order the best we can.
I'm
You're
sorry,
welcome.
there has been several sit downs with them in the past regarding this issue at the board meeting and out of the board meeting. I even had a private meeting with them. And by the way, I'm so tired of certain people telling people how they can speak, what tone they can use. This is the white entitlement they have. They feel like they could control what people can think and say. I'm not
Okay.
apologizing how I speak. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't want back and forths between each other. We're here to help the community and I want to keep that the focus of our conversations. So thank you and I appreciate it. I understand everybody's side, but we want to keep this focus on the community. So thank you. Kay, you're the last one that I see on the screen. Do you have anything that you want to bring up?
No, I pretty much put it all in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so for those of you who weren't on when I said it earlier, I would like some feedback from the community board members, from the gallery, from the public. In September, when we come back, anything you've seen over the summer that is of concern to you, and any ideas for a guest or anything that you need us to go visit, to go look at. We just want to make sure that we cover every basis of Community Board 11. So there's all different areas. There's not just Morris Park or Allerton. There's other areas, and I want to make sure that we cover all of them. So if there's anything that you feel that needs to be brought to our attention, please do so. And also, my information is available. If something happens over the summer that's a public safety concern, reach out to me. Let us know about it. I'll do what I can. But we won't be meeting for meetings, but that doesn't mean that your concerns can't be heard still. So feel free to reach out to me if you have any over the summer.
My info is also readily available.
Okay. Yes, Malcolm, go ahead.
Sorry. Do we have like any update as to like what's going on with smoke shops? Since any more stores are starting.
We have for the economic development, and I believe it's tomorrow night, but don't quote me on it. I think there's somebody coming tomorrow night to economic development. Yeah, to discuss, because right now, when they come to our economic development, we only have one come so far. We don't have anything, any regulations or anything to be able to make any kind of decision on it. So that's why we need clarification of. We're also gonna ask them about what the plans are for the illegal smoke shops and see, because one of the gentlemen that is supposedly trying to open it up on Williamsburg, he made a comment which I thought was a little weird, that in order for them to close down the illegal smoke shop that's on that block, they need a legal dispensary, which made no sense to me. If it's an illegal smoke shop, then there shouldn't be anything holding them back from closing it down. So I just want to get clarification on that too. So anybody who's interested in has questions about that tomorrow's economic development meeting, please join us, because that way, if you have questions, we could bring it to them. Robert, you have your hand up?
Yeah, the governor just made an announcement last week on illegal smoke shops that she had sent the tax department and the OEM against. However, these were upstate in Ithaca, another area upstate, and in lower Manhattan, where there were legal cannabis stores. So that is correct, that they're looking to save these legal cannabis stores and really don't care about the illegals elsewhere.
Yeah, that doesn't feel right to me. I don't know why. I understand what you're saying, and I understand money wise why they do that, but still the illegal ones, they shouldn't. Efren, your hand was up. Did you have something to say?
Just wanted to add, since you want information if we do come about, I am going to be paying close attention to the new C-Town on Bronxdale. And since the scooters issue has come up here, I'm going to look at that, but I will go on the record to let this committee know that I do not believe that a scooter should be parked on the curb with people coming in and out. That is a big safety issue for anybody to get hurt. So I really hope that we can have some dialogue going forward, Veronica, with getting the DOT to look at that. Maybe they can just get a little area where they can park, because I really don't want to see anybody get hurt. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Efren. Roxanne, your hand is up again?
Yes, please, I'll make it concise. This is regarding the OCM meeting scheduled for tomorrow. Very important to ask this question because CB11 was notified on April 24th, and the 30-day cutoff was for May 24th, which unfortunately the committee board missed because they decided to vote to not object to this location. So I want to know, will the OCM still give more time for the board if they take a second vote with more members to object to this location? And also I'm very upset, not because it didn't go the way I wanted it, because PS 89 was not notified of this application nor of the meeting. Town Parkway Houses was not notified of the application nor the meeting. And when I notified them, unfortunately, the person who was supposed to speak on behalf of Town Parkway Houses had a medical emergency. So I think it's not fair that this would go forth with no public input. And the fact is that Committee 11 should have notified the community of the application. And it's just so unfair how this came about, and the fact that the agenda was not properly worded. I think this is unfair that the community bears the burden when our agencies or our electeds don't do the right thing. But thank you so much.
Thank you, Roxanne. Okay. So I think that's it. Diana, you put your hand down. You don't have anything else? Okay.
No, nothing else. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. All right, so if there's nothing else from the people on WebEx, anything from anyone in the office? All right, then I guess we'll call the meeting. It's now 7:34. Meeting has ended. Thank you, everyone who has joined us. I wish everyone a happy and safe summer. And again, community board may not be meeting, but we are here. So if you need us, please reach out to us.
Happy summer.
Happy summer, everyone.
Happy
Thank you,
Thank you,
summer.
Veronica, for
Thank
Bye.
you.
carrying all the
Bye-bye.
meetings so well. Thank you.
Thank you.